This is one of those rare moments that the hype you see for a movie before it comes out actually delivers. It's funny how it would suck to be a vampire in real life, but in movies they always make it seem so cool. And we are talking spoilers, so if you have not seen this movie yet, come back later. Sinners is a movie that I was really excited to see, and I've been waiting for this for months now. Ryan Coogler is back with his good friend Michael B. Jordan, and I'm surprised that I have not seen a single bad review for this movie, which is really weird because today with the internet, people hate everything. I remember seeing the very first trailer for this movie, and with the other ones, I purposely avoided them, so the only things that I knew coming into this movie was that it featured vampires, Michael B. Jordan, and black people. That was enough for me. We are starting to get to that point in the year where all these blockbusters are filling up the theater. Like, I cannot wait to see Mission Impossible next month. But as of right now, this is easily my favorite movie of 2025 so far. But I love this movie. It had me hooked from the very beginning. I just found this world so interesting. And honestly, I completely forgot that this movie was about vampires until we got our first real look at one. Like, this movie isn't perfect. I do have some issues. It might be some nitpicks if you want to say that, but it's a lot to praise about this movie. So let's start with that. The acting in this movie across the board was amazing. The movie stars obviously Michael B. Jordan and Hailee Steinfeld, and shout out to Josh Allen, that lucky bastard. Those two are clearly the biggest names attached to this movie, but the supporting cast was right there with them. We get the legend, the OG Delroy Lindo in this, Wunmi Masaku, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, and Miles Caton, and I was really surprised to read that this is Miles' first acting role, which is crazy. I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan, even though I've been very critical of him over the years, and I feel like my criticism is still valid. I feel like he's a really good actor, but in real life, he seems like such a good dude. He seems like such a nice guy that whenever he's playing these roles as a villain, whenever he's playing a character and he's supposed to be angry, I just don't think he's good at those type of roles. Like when he played Killmonger, I did not believe him for a second. And granted, I haven't seen every single thing he's been involved in, but for me personally, this is the best performance that I've ever seen from him. He plays twin characters named Smoke and Stack, and you have these gangsters that come back to town from Chicago, and they're basically opening up their own club. So they throw this big party to celebrate the opening night, and of course, it's ruined by vampires. You thought I was gonna say white people. And I'm not really saying this as a negative. I'm not really saying this as a criticism. I can admit this is a nitpick. This is not like me docking a point from the movie, but this is just a nitpick for me. It did take longer than I thought it would to actually get to the club and to get the movie going along, because it's kind of felt like two different films. Like in the first half of this movie, we see the twins going around town. They're running errands. They're picking up these different people. We're learning more about these characters, and then we get to the club, and then we have a build up, we have a build up, we have a build up, and then we fight the vampires, and it's like 0 to 60. And then the music is a really big part of this movie. The sound design in general was done extremely well. I've seen this done in other movies, but I don't know if this scene particularly hit me harder because I'm black and I live in the South. But at one point in the movie, we get a scene where Michael B. Jordan's character is talking to the drunk character. I don't remember his name, but the drunk character was telling a story about his friend being hung at a train station by white people. And during this conversation, they got the music in the background, and then very faintly, you could hear these sound effects. And if my memory is correct, you could hear like his friend screaming, you could hear his friend struggling, you could hear the rope that's choking his friend. And just the way they executed this, I thought was really cool and disturbing. And then later in the movie, we get this scene featuring Sammy, who they call Preacher Boy. He wants to be a musician. He easily had my favorite scene of this movie, one of the coolest scenes that I've seen in a film within the last 5 years. So he's performing at this club, and during his performance, they're talking about how music unlocks both the future and the past. And so while he's performing, you see the camera transitioning around the club. And what do we see? We see African dancers dancing, and then the camera transitions. We see the back of a DJ. He's scratching records. He got the gold chain on, look like an 80s DJ. And then you start to hear the music remix, and then the camera transitions. You see more modern day women. They're twerking over here in the corner. And then the camera transitions, and then you see what, if my memory is correct, it looked like kind of 90s West Coast gangsters. They dance, and you just see all this black culture, which was done really well. And the way that I'm describing this, I'm sure I'm not doing it justice at all, but if you're watching this review, you've seen the movie, you know how amazing that scene is. And then the cinematography in this movie was beautiful. Like, it's a viral clip of Ryan Coogler on the internet where he's just talking about film. And I don't know if it's because I'm a nerd, But that was so fascinating to me. This movie was beautiful. I saw this in IMAX, or whatever technology they use today to put an actor on the screen twice. Like we saw this last month with Mickey 17. It looks so much better today than it was a long time ago. Outside of Parent Trap, I actually thought that was two different people. But Ryan Coogler, just like with the Black Panther franchise, he knows how to make a beautiful movie. And it's a lot that I love about this film. It's a lot that I can praise, but I do have some criticisms, some small critiques. The only thing that holds this movie back, in my opinion, is the story. At times, it wasn't my fault, bro. The kids that work at my theater, they move so slow. Like, all I wanted was a large popcorn. I walked into the movie theater late, so when I walked in, it was right when the twins were picking up Preacher Boy. So I saw when Preacher Boy was talking to his dad and when he grabbed the guitar. That's when I walked into the movie theater. So maybe I missed something at the very, very beginning of the movie. But the vampires not rushing into the bar or the club just because they weren't invited in was really stupid to me. Like, again, maybe I missed something at the very, very beginning of the movie. Like, maybe they technically couldn't. But the fact that the whole time I'm sitting there watching this, I'm just wondering, why aren't they just rushing into the club like they ended up doing later once they technically got invited in? It was just stupid to me. Also, speaking of inviting people in, I hope that Asian woman in this movie, her character, not the actress, but her character, I hope she rots in hell for all of eternity. She pissed me off so much, the way that she invited them in. And then the way that her character died was just weird to me. That whole situation was just weird because she died by burning herself to death. But the way they did it, it just felt anticlimactic, especially after everything that she just went through, and especially because she was the one that invited them in. And then Delroy's character, the drunk, I forgot his name in this movie again, but the drunk character, he just randomly decides to kill himself and he just slits his wrists. Okay. And then we get this final scene with Sammy and the head vampire, and they're saying the prayer, they're singing songs. Stop playing with your food. And I'm not saying that the overall story is bad. I'm not saying that the overall story is trash. I know how the internet is. It's just that some points, maybe you could call it nitpicking, it's just some points of the movie I feel like it could have been executed better. Honestly, up until the vampires came, I didn't have any issues with the story at all. I thought all of the characters were interesting, especially the twins. I even enjoyed just watching them go around town and run errands. You could have left vampires completely out of this movie and I would have been fine. I would have been perfectly fine just watching these twins go around town being gangsters, dealing with the KKK. I'm good with just that. Like, the vampire dude, the main bad guy, wasn't really a big fan. I hated the whole, oh, we gotta be kind to one another. Also with this movie, we get more evidence of the tried and true statement that it's no easier woman to pull than a woman in a relationship. This girl told Sammy, I'm married. He asked her happily, and she smiled and she showed up to the club later. Preacher Boy, you a wild boy. You a nasty boy, man. They was in that club dancing, singing, sweating. And you know, back then the hygiene wasn't the best during those times. This man said, I do not care. I'm hungry. As of this recording, Sinners is projected to make around $40 million in its opening weekend, coming in second place and falling behind Minecraft. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 98% and a fan rating of 96%. I'm right there with them. I'm gonna give this movie a 9, which is excellent on my scale, I believe. This movie is amazing. So much about this movie was great and well done. Great acting from Michael B. Jordan and the rest of the crew. Ryan Coogler is a star, and it seems like he's bringing back X-Files. I've never watched X-Files, but I guess I'm about to start now. Cinematography was great. The sound design was great. Everything about this movie in most aspects was extremely high quality. It's just story-wise, I feel like some things could have been tweaked to be better, but maybe I'm nitpicking. Seeing Michael B. Jordan shoot a bunch of KKK members almost made me bump this movie up to a 10 out of 10, but then I remember I couldn't stop laughing because this man was walking in an open field, and like with all these types of movies, nobody could shoot him. But overall, great movie. It's unfortunate that Jonathan Majors ruined his own career because he would have fit perfectly into this movie. He already got the language, the dialect down. He already got his own wardrobe. This was a great movie, but thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this movie? Did you love it, or did you love it because it seems like everybody loved it? I have not seen a single bad review for this movie. Don't you dare be the first. And also, would you be interested in a Sinners Part 2 based in the 90s? Let me know in the comment section below. Love you guys. As always, remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.